Welcome back to Close Up this morning. In the final days of 2024, heading into 2025, we're taking a look at what faces the cities of our state, especially the challenges and opportunities. Joining us now is Portsmouth's Mayor, Declan McEachran. Thanks for being here with us, Mr. Mayor. Appreciate it.
Great to be here, Steve.
Okay, so I have to imagine what we faced in 2024 is a lot going to look like what we're facing in 2025, namely housing being probably the top of your priority list. Is that accurate?
Sure. Well, I mean, the local governments, we do three things. You know, we got to provide public safety. That's top of the list. Public education. You know, people don't look for housing vouchers or school vouchers when we're talking about where to move. But then, you know, the public infrastructure, and housing is the top of that list in terms of making sure the economy of Portsmouth continues to move forward and provide as many jobs. We have to have people being able to fill those jobs. That comes down to housing and making sure we make it as affordable as possible.
Yeah, so with Portsmouth, the thing that I've always been curious about is you have this kind of duality happening in the city where you have this tourist visitor economy, but then you also need all the local workers to be able to live there. You need your teachers, your police officers, your firefighters, your service workers to be able to live in the city in which they're actually providing those services. How do you balance that?
Sure, and you also have the Navy Yard too,
right.
The Air Force Base. You know, there's a lot of folks looking, you know, in the military looking for housing as well. That's the trick, is making sure that we're able to provide that lower end, that workforce housing, as well as, you know, the market is the market. And so a couple of things that we're doing to that end. One, we're looking at all the city lands that we have, and we're dedicating that to build affordable housing. So we just recently picked the Portsmouth Housing Authority to build the Sherburne property. That's a property that used to be a school. We moved that, and now we have the opportunity to build, I mean, you know, 100 units there. It's also about changing zoning so that we allow. So there's a Christchurch building that just won some tax credits. That's able to build housing because in the city council level, we changed the zoning to allow housing. So that's a big part, is just making sure that we're focusing on that workforce aspect, because that's been missing so far.
Now, we know places like Mount Washington Valley, for instance, that also see a lot of visitors but have some housing challenges. They've been looking at what you do with short-term rentals, for instance. Does Portsmouth deal with that challenge as well?
So yes and no. There are short-term rentals that, you know, we don't allow them, certainly by right outside the downtown. That's a portion of it, and being able to, you know, have stricter laws around that. But it comes down to supply. You know, like, we need more housing. Part of it's going to be market-driven. Like, we have a new, and we, you know, not the marketing department, but we have, it's called the Gateway Neighborhood Overlay District. That's a lot of convoluted terms, but basically saying that if you want to build in one of these new zoned areas, you can build up as long as you give the city land first to be able to do so. We're going to then transfer that over to PHA or another nonprofit entity to build affordable housing. That's the trick, is making sure that we're not making it so developers can't build. We need more housing, but making sure that we're able to get a portion of that to be below market rate. Because in Portsmouth, the market rate is simply not affordable for the average person that's working in Portsmouth. It's a lot of transplants, especially after COVID.
And then what's your message to the State House? You know, as a mayor, what is it that you say is still missing coming from Concord to places like Portsmouth to help with this issue? Yeah,
it's not so much what's missing, it's what's going. So we send a lot of money to Concord, whether it's the room and meals tax. You know, I think we generate north of $40 million, and we get back $2 million of that. You know, if Concord could see fit to just, you know, let more money stay in Portsmouth, we could be solving more of this. I think, you know, the next governor is going to have to figure out how do you incentivize all the places around the state to start building housing. So far, haven't seen any inclination, other than it's something good to do, that there's any plans that are going to happen. You know, in Portsmouth, we're actually building more housing. We've just approved another 350 units that are going in Old Bed Bath & Beyond. You know, today I think is the day where the GNOT actually will close and become law, allowing for a transfer of more land to the city to build more affordable housing. You have to get on the zoning. You have to make housing legal. And some of the best, you know, this is the point that I always like to make in terms of zoning laws. The places where people think it's the most charming place in all of Portsmouth are the places that most parts in the state would not allow for zoning. There's no setbacks, you know, the road's really narrow, fire chief hates them, but we still get it done there. And so making it so that we can actually build those communities, that's what I think the state has to start incentivizing. I don't think they're ever going to mandate, but certainly incentivizing, the cities and towns to say, hey, if you want money, if it's education money, like all those things that are supposed to be coming to the cities and towns, we want to see zoning laws that align with the responsibilities of the state.
So in some ways, it sounds like it's rethinking it, or assumptions about what a lot of people here in New Hampshire think neighborhoods look like, or what typical houses look like.
Well, it's always going to come down to the neighborhood or the city and town, but there's choices that are made on each locality, and those choices affect the state. And so I think that areas like cities like Portsmouth that are actually building a lot of housing, and I think last year in 2023, we were second only to Salem. We're going to be right up there again this year in terms of approving and building, more housing. There should be incentivization from the state to those, and the money, if it's not coming, just should be staying in our localities that are actually building that. That's where, it's still going to be a local flavor for each community, but, for those that are doing it, they should see some benefit from the state.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, certainly this is a conversation we're going to continue here in the months to come. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
My pleasure, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. And Adam's going to be right back here next week. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Close Up. You can always check out the WMUR politics section of our website and also our app anytime you would like to. We'll see you right back here next week. Have a great Sunday.